What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Fire Sports 6 podcast. We have a mock draft from the 110 today. Last Friday, we weren't able to do it on a Fantasy Friday, so we're just slotting it in on the Tuesday slot here. And on my little calendar here, my handy-dandy calendar, today was supposed to be NFL defensive futures. So we can still knock that out. I mean, that's a relatively quick segment. We're going to look at some interceptions. I don't even know what that entailed. I think I just jotted that down without a thought, just trying to get some programming in. But either way, I think we have a draft strategy pretty locked in. We know the guys we're targeting in the early rounds. We know we want to get a bunch of running backs, and we know we are waiting on QBs. I haven't looked at an ESPN. See, why are these all autos, dude? And these guys joined. I was excited. I figured, okay, we usually do this early in the morning at like noon, and there's not a lot of sickos on there at noon. But I feel like 7:40 on a Monday evening would be prime mock draft time. We get a full draft of people that are locked in, and we've got all these autos all of a sudden, and that just doesn't sit right with me. Hopefully these people will start to join, or else this thing's going to be skewed in a whole million different ways. We're not going to get the realest feel for it. But we're drafting from the 110. So far, I've done one from the 101 through the 104, and then I've done 112, 111. I'm going to do 110 today, 109 on Friday, and then just like that, we're only 4 Fantasy Fridays away before the NFL season starts, and it's looking like everybody's joining, so we're going to have a pretty solid group here. We want the people around us to be drafting a lot too, and that is the case here, but let's look. I haven't even looked this far. We're looking at CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane range. That's where we want to be. Amon-Ra, CeeDee, Achane. Probably Amon-Ra, Achane. Those are the two guys we're targeting, and then at the turn, it's Trey McBride. It's Omari and Hampton. Those are the guys we want at the turn. We want to leave this first 2 rounds with either 2 elite running backs, an elite running back, and an elite tight end, or if we go Amon-Ra, it's tough to go with the tight end because you want to secure one of these RBs, and we have a chance to get a couple of really, really good ones. Like Achane and Omari and Hampton just speaks volumes to me at this turn here. You could go with Justin Jefferson, James Cook. Having a pick in the turn is where I love this high on these ADPs is kind of insane. So this is the thing. I was looking at some consensus ADPs on Draft Sharks the other day, and they had Ashton Genty in the top 10, but I've sorted this by ADP and has Jeremiah Love ahead of Ashton Genty. Where is Ashton Genty? Am I insane? Okay, he's right behind. Okay, I'm blind. I'm blind as a bat. So we're locked in. I think this is going to be good. I think I like where we're at. Let's see what happens. Omari and Hampton at the 104. Rob's rowdy team is going to be someone we need to keep an eye on. I was hoping on getting Hampton at the turn. That's annoying. If CMC or JT falls to us, that's the pick there. I mean, it can't not be. I think so. JSN, Jamar, Puka, Jameer. Okay, it's going to be CMC, JT, or Achane. We pretty much locked up at least one of those guys, and then McBride at the turn. So we're going to get a top tier running back. And if all 3 of those guys are off the board, we'll see what Jorge's scary team does here. But if all 3 of those guys are off the board, I'm fine taking a Jettas or an Amon-Ra. So we're okay. He goes McCaffrey, right pick on him. This guy should go Achane or Amon-Ra. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm fine taking JT or Achane. No, I want one of these RBs. JT, Achane, or Amon-Ra. So we're in a good spot. I mean, Omari and Hampton getting picked kind of skewed things a little bit there because in no draft is he going to go in the top 4. So you're going to be looking at probably the top 9, I would assume, would be Bijan, Gibbs, Jamar, Puka, or I'm going to take Achane. It would be Bijan, Gibbs, Puka, Jamar, JSN, McCaffrey, Taylor, Amon-Ra, Achane, and then probably a CeeDee Lamb. I think that would be the top 9, and I think that's what it was just now. And that leaves you in a tough spot there because you probably go Jettas, James Cook, or Jettas and then Trey McBride, and I'm okay with that. We'll see how far Jettas falls. If he falls to the 15, I don't mind taking Justin Jefferson, Devon Achane. It's just Trey McBride. You guys, if you haven't listened to me before, I'll tell you why Trey McBride is such a positional advantage. He scored 105 more points than the second best tight end last season, and the gap between 1 and 2 was the same as the gap between tight end 2, tight end 27. And the last time we saw a gap like that and a positional advantage like that was in 2022 when Travis Kelce scored 100 more points than TJ Hawkinson. The next year, Travis Kelce was getting drafted at the 105 in 2023. 105. Now Trey McBride's going out closer to the 3rd round than he is the 1st round. That's insane to me considering the positional value. He scored more points per game than Saquon Barkley, Drake London, I don't think Rashee Rice actually. Rashee Rice was a monster. Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, K9, all of the guys, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee. He scored more points per game than all of these guys that are going ahead of him. And I'll also tell you what, Ashton Genty at the 201 is a straight up joke. I would rather have Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Jeremiah Love. I would rather have Trey McBride. K9 is debatable. Honestly, he's in a way better situation than Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty, here, can we look at him? I wonder who picked him. Tyler's top team. Ashton Genty scored less than 12 or less points 7 different times last year. He scored 5 or 10 or less points 6 different times last year. That is dreadful. That's too low of a floor. And I understand they bring in Tyler Linderbaum. They have Brock Bowers, and this offensive line should be a little bit better, especially against the run. It's still not good. Like, Colton Miller's a solid player. That's it. Their offensive line is mid at best. Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, is the guy they drafted to play center. He's playing guard now. It's a mid offensive line at best, which still isn't that great. Their defense sucks. Their offense is not good. It's Jalen Nailor and Trey Tucker as the starting receivers. So I'm not touching Ashton Genty with a 10-foot pole. So now we have Achane, we have McBride. We want to get an elite receiver. And if Garrett Wilson is there, you guys know about my affection for Garrett Wilson. We'll take him all day. I don't think he will be there. We're going to be looking Zay Flowers. I don't mind him as my wide receiver one. Devontae Smith, wouldn't mind him as my wide receiver one at all either. And then we'll probably chill on the receivers, and we're gonna go receiver, running back here. I think is definitely the play. I think Javonte Williams has one of the safest floors in fantasy because that offensive line is young and ascending. He ran for 1,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns last year. I feel like that is his floor. The Cowboys are going to be better this season than they were last year. I think that raises his ceiling because he'll have more opportunities to, form an offense. He'll get more carries late into the game where they can kind of put games to bed because their defense is going to be better with Savon Ravel year 2, Deron Bland healthy. Their defensive line, suddenly they have some real young edge rushers on the outside, and Donovan Izaraku, Malachi Lawrence, obviously Kenny Clark, Quinn Williams are dogs. They bring in Caleb Downs as well in that secondary. I think their defense is going to be better. So I think if there's a world, there goes Javonte Williams. Smart pick by Rob's rowdy team. I'll tell you this. Say what you want about Rob. Let's see, who was his other pick? Rob went Rashee Rice, Omarion Hampton, and Javonte Williams. And you could argue he reached on all of them. I think Rob's got a nice squad he's putting together here. I really do. Josh Allen's ADP has fallen. He was usually going in the 3rd round. Now it's looking like he's going in the 4th round. So that's interesting. But it's looking like Garrett, Zay Flowers, or Devontae Smith here. And I haven't done my homework on the receivers quite yet to really have a good feel for them. I think Pickens is also definitely in play here. But I just prefer Garrett because that's my guy, number 1. And number 2, I think the Jets are honestly going to have a decent offense this year. They bring in Geno Smith, who's the best quarterback Garrett Wilson's ever played with. A.D. Mitchell, Kenyon Sadiq, and Omar Cooper are also a couple of a trio of young, explosive players that could have some really high upside. And I think their offensive line is the best offensive line they've had in a few years. At least it has some continuity. So if Garrett Wilson's off the board here, we'll go George Pickens. If they're both off the board, we'll go Zay Flowers. So I think we're in a decent spot to lock up our wide receiver. And then it just comes down to the running backs. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I like this 110 that much because the running backs are flying off the board, which they should, but only one RB. All right, come on, Garrett. Don't do it. Big's best team. People don't like to take Jets receivers because they're Jets receivers, so I will take Garrett all day here. Garrett or Pickens, I think, are fine. GP's probably the better pick, but I love Garrett Wilson. And George Pickens probably the safer pick, but Garrett Wilson's ceiling is wide receiver 1. I genuinely do believe that in my heart. So we got Achane, Wilson, McBride. I love where we're at here. Now we're not even going to click off the running back tab until we have a couple of them. TreVeyon Henderson is very, very enticing here. In games where he's had more than 10 carries last year, he averaged 16 points per game. And in the back half of the season, he was explosive. 10 yards a carry, 6 yards a carry, 10 yards a carry. And if he gets a higher volume, a higher workload, I think he can be a really, really high upside RB. I'll tell you what, who has a really safe floor, I think, is Cam Scadaboo. We have Achane, who has a high ceiling. So getting another safe floor RB could be a play here. I think Scadaboo is going to have more passing volume than a lot of people think. I think he's going to get into the end zone a whole lot. I just don't think he has the explosiveness to be like he's not. If he scores 30 points, it's because he's getting to the end zone 3-4 times. It's not because he's having 200 yards from scrimmage. But I do think he does provide a safe floor because of the goal line work that he will get. And I think the Giants' offensive line is pretty solid as well. So we're going to go Scadaboo, but we're not done with the RBs here. We're going to go with another one. Hopefully, I doubt TreVeyon Henderson falls that far. That would be clutch. We're going to go David Montgomery, Jadarian Price. We want one of those 3. I'm staying away from Bishal Tootin. I don't trust the Cleveland Browns offensive line, even though they did make some upgrades on it this offseason. I don't trust Bishal Tootin one bit. I'd much rather take his running mate, Chris Rodriguez, in the later rounds. I trust Jadarian Price's workload and his volume. I think David Montgomery's in a really safe situation. The Texans bring in Braden Smith. The Texans bring in Wyatt Teller. Their offense should be better this season. I think CJ Stroud will bounce back. I still do believe in him. If he sucks this year, then I think I'm totally out on CJ Stroud, but I will go down with the ship, and the ship might be sinking, but this is the year it's going to get those holes plugged, if you know what I mean, if there was a year to do it. I'm not touching Baishal Tutin, simply not happening. Like, look at in the consensus ADP, Tutin was going around the same spot as Carnell Tate. ESPN, that's not the case, so that's fair. But let's see where. Lamar Jackson is just plummeting, bro. Plummeting. Him in the same tier as Jaden and Drake May, Jalen Hurts is like, I would take him here. I don't understand how he's falling this far. That's crazy. So Lamar, I'm not a big QB early guy this year, but if Lamar in the 6th round, in the 5th round, I mean, that's just steal at the value. Tutin at the same price as DeAndre Swift, Cortland Sutton, Alec Pierce. That's just a Jordan Tyson. That's just a joke. I'm not taking that guy with a 10-foot pole. And maybe I'm a clown for it. Maybe the upside does pay off. I don't see it like that, man. So hopefully TreVeyon Henderson can fall. That's not going to happen. We need one of those three, Montgomery, Jadarian Price, TreVeyon, to fall. And if they're all gone, then we'll probably pivot to a wide receiver. I will take Carnell Tate if he's there. I don't mind DJ Moore at all. Wide receiver 1 for Josh Allen. I don't mind a Jordan Tyson at all either. You guys know how I feel about him. And even if we have to take him this early, I don't mind taking Michael Wilson one bit. I think Michael Wilson should be up here. So his ADP is still so low. Okay, there goes Tutin. TreVeyon Henderson is still on the board. TreVeyon Henderson is still on the board. Why is Baishal Tutin going ahead of TreVeyon Henderson? That's such a, okay. If Henderson falls to me, this draft has been an A+. We've knocked it out of the park. I don't think he's going to, but I do think we will get him or Jadarian Price. Hopefully. We can hope now. Jorge's scary team. Let's check on Rick here. Let's check on what Rick's been doing. Or Ronnie. What was it? Ronnie? Rick? Garrett? Trevor? Oh, it's Rob's. It's Rob's rowdy team. Rob went Lamar. What is that just not talking about? Rob went Lamar, Hampton, Williams, Rice, Montgomery. That is a squad, bro. Rob went Omari and Hampton at the 104, but I still like his squad. That is just nasty. I'm sorry. Rob knows what he's doing. Where is Devin's daring team? TreVeyon or Price here is likely the play. This is a good draft because like the RBs have thinned out. There goes Price. I don't know how TreVeyon Henderson felt to us. I don't know how he felt to us. I couldn't tell you. That's a steal. Achane, Scadaboo, Henderson, RBs are solid. They all have different bye weeks too. That's huge. McBride, Wilson. We can go and scoop up a wide receiver. And if Carnell Tate's on the board, we have really hit this thing out of the park here. Honestly, let's see what other running backs are available because I really like the way these wide receivers are falling. If DeAndre Swift is there, we're going to scoop him up as well. Just get these up. There he goes. Jalen Warren's not crazy here. He's probably the best running back still on the board. That's going to get like a good amount of workload. I don't like Tony Pollard that much because he just isn't as efficient, but he has 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. His offense should be better. The offensive line there is just awful. I think but Carnell Tate's still on the board. It's got to be Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson here just for the upside. Yeah, I don't like Tony Pollard. I think our running backs are fine. I think we can get some RB depth later, like a little bit more RB depth later, whether it's a Chris Rodriguez, whether it's a J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Brooks, somebody. Either way, we don't even need to take another running back, although it would be nice. We'll probably get an Achane handcuff. I think we're going to go and scoop up Carnell Tate here to be our wide receiver too, and I really like the spot we're in. I really do like the spot. Let's take a peek at the quarterbacks just really quickly. So Burrow's still on the board. Jackson Dart, Dak. Yeah, we are chilling on the QBs. I'm fine waiting until Kyler, but if we can get Mahomes or Herbert in the 9th, 10th, I'm taking that all day long, man. Or Caleb. Like these are all top 10 fantasy QBs. Potentially, you're getting them in the late rounds. And I've been double dipping often. I will go Kyler and then Malik Willis has been a strategy that I have been locking in recently as well. So let's see what else. Let's see how the board continues to fall. I think Michael Wilson will be on our team. I think we'll probably take him with our next pick just to get some more safety at the wide receiver position. And if I end up going, well, let's see what the running backs look like. If Jalen Warren falls there, I'll take Jalen Warren. Since I took TreVeyon Henderson, maybe I should take Ramondre Stevenson as well, just to have that Patriots backfield locked. And I think their offense is going to be really good this year. They got better on the offensive line. They bring in Elijah Vera Tucker. They draft Caleb Lomu. They bring in AJ Brown and Romeo Dobbs. I think their offense will be better this season. So if we can get both of those guys, that's going to be nasty. That just locks up a whole backfield on what will probably be a top 5, top 10 offense. And then there goes guess who took Michael Wilson? Guess who took him? Rob's rowdy team. This Rob guy is a real problem and a real pain in my ass because his team, he's taken all my guys. He's taken this noted. I need to take Michael Wilson earlier than that. That's crazy that he just took, that's crazy he just did that. That is crazy he just did that. That is insane. So now we're definitely going to go Ramondre because I don't know. No, I need to get a receiver. It's either Parker Washington or Jordan Tyson. It's Parker Washington or Jordan Tyson. And then we can go with the Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson at the turn. I feel like one of them will be there. That's insane to me. Rob's Rowdy team is putting on an absolute clinic here. I can't say enough about what he's done. He has put together a squad. Let's look at it. He went Omarion Hampton at the 104. Rob's Rowdy team. And his team is just nasty. Rashee Rice, Michael Wilson, Laporta is okay. I don't like that at the tight end spot. I would have waited if I was him. All right, now it's Jordan Tyson or Parker. I love me Jordan. I love Jordan Tyson, bro. I just love Jordan Tyson. I do love Jordan Tyson. I think I've taken him in every draft. I think his route running is unbelievable. He can't stay on the field, which is a little bit concerning. So we're going to have to take a Jordan Addison. We're going to have to take probably, I don't know what other. I have no idea. I don't mind a Romeo Dobbs. Jalen McMillan, probably not. A.D. Mitchell's a good sleeper. I think he's going to have a real wide receiver. But that's the thing. I already have. Oh, this is Rob's team. I don't like this draft that I'm having so far, quite frankly. But I do have some heavy hitters. Like Trey McBride and Carnell Tate are some heavy hitters. And if Parker Washington's there, I might as well just let it rip on Parker. And I'll take J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Hart. I'm fine with my running backs. I don't love my running backs, but I'm fine with them. Really young squad, though. If this was a dynasty team, my team would be gross. But I think we're just going to go Parker Washington and lock in the receiver room. And I think the receiver room is a lot of unproven talent. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of unproven talent. But look at Parker Washington and the way he finished the season last year. Was just on an absolute tear. Well, 19, 26, 18, and he went off in the wild card game against the Bills as well. So I don't mind Parker Washington there at all. He could be the wide receiver one on that team. And he was more productive on the outside. I think he had more yards per target on the outside than he did in the slot, which is crazy because you think of Parker Washington, you think of him as a slot guy, as a slot receiver. So we'll see if one of these running backs can fall back to me, a Warren or a Ramondre. We might have overplayed our hand in waiting for them. I don't mind though. Kenny Gainwell going this high is interesting. I think Rachaad White has real receiving upside in that Commanders offense. Austin Eckler had a serviceable year. I think he was a top 30 running back. He could be a solid flex play. I'm not touching Aaron Jones. Chuba Hubbard, I think we could just scoop up the Panthers backfield. Like, that wouldn't be bad either if we go Hubbard and Brooks. So we just have the Panthers backfield locked and loaded. We still do need a quarterback, so we got to monitor that a little bit as well. Herbert, Mahomes. All right, I'll probably take Mahomes here, low-key. Let's see. Oh, there goes Mahomes. So I guess we're rolling with Kyler Murray. Let's look at the running backs. I think the RB situation is honestly pretty solid. I will scoop up Chuba, and then we'll go here. Here's what we'll do. We'll go Kyler Murray, and then we will wait and scoop up one of Chuba, Brooks. If Chuba's gone, we'll go Brooks or Rachaad White. If Chuba's gone, we go Rachaad White. If Chuba's still there, we'll take Chuba, and hopefully Brooks drops. Actually, I kind of like J.K. Dobbins, too. I mean, when J.K. Dobbins is on the field, he is productive. You just got to trade him before he gets injured. 14, 15, 30. Yeah, I mean, he was productive. Like, fuck, we're going to go J.K. Dobbins. What's the outlook say on him? What's his injury status? Dobbins led the Broncos with 712 rushing yards across 10 regular season games during the 2025 campaign, is likely to maintain a prominent role in the team's 2026 backfield mix, even with Denver having spent second-round pick on Harvey and a fourth-rounder this year on Jonah Coleman. Harvey is likely to get most of the pass-catching opportunities. He averaged 3.7 yards per game. Not crazy here. Yeah, we will take Kyler Murray. And then it's probably going to be, honestly, I like JK better. Chuba Hubbard was not very efficient with his carries last season. 3.8 yards per carry, not ideal. Jonathan Brooks is a flyer if he can stay healthy. He could be a league winner. But I like J.K. Dobbins, and I like my guy. Where's Chris Rodriguez? Let's get this guy. This guy in the queue. We'll take him in the later rounds as well, just to get a little bit more RB depth. I think we're sniping some RBs here, low-key, later. I think these are two really solid RBs. The thing with, you're probably thinking to yourself, why is this guy talking about Chris Rodriguez so much? Chris Rodriguez had the most yards after contact per carry out of any running back that had 100 yards last year, or had 100 carries last year. And he's on an offense with a fourth-round running back that has not done anything on this league. He averaged like less than 4 yards a carry last season by Tootin. I don't know why everybody's assuming he's going to be the RB1. I like Chris Rodriguez a little bit more. He's more experienced. Don't be surprised if he is the RB1. And this Liam Cohen offense utilized Bucky Irving and Rachaad White a whole lot. Like, both of them were reliable-ish fantasy options in Bucky Irving's rookie season. So I will take Chris Rodriguez a few rounds later than Baishal Tootin all day. And I think we have some really solid depth here. Tyson, Washington, Dobbins. We're going to need one of these receivers to really break out. And I think one of the two top 10 rookie receivers will do that, if not both of them. Quentin Johnson is the next pick for sure, but I don't think he's going to be there. We're in the auto zone now. We're just getting a shout out auto zone. They're just flying off the board here. Calvin Ridley, low key, is not. People forget he's there. He's in Tennessee. They bring in Wandale. They bring in. They draft Carnell Tate. It's not crazy. I think Antonio Williams could carve out a role. Jawan Jennings could carve out a role. Ricky Pearsall on IR. That's crazy that he's still on there. Ryan Flanoy, we'll add him to the queue. He could be a late round steal. Maybe a backup tight end could be in play here. Are any good ones still on the board? No, all of the tight ends. Oh, our tight ends got rinsed, dude. Holy shit. And then, all right, Malik Willis also will be our late round QB. Baker Mayfield also has some real merit, dude, honestly. If you look at the way he started the season before the injuries and you look at him last year, 22, 19, 17, 18, 26, 19, fell off. But Baker Mayfield as a late round quarterback is not crazy either. I don't mind taking Malik Willis here at all, though. Just give me, well, wait, hold on. Before we jump to conclusions here, let's make sure. Chris Rodriguez is still, okay, yeah, we're going to go Rodriguez. I think one of those quarterbacks that I just mentioned will be there. I should have been QJ. I figured QJ was gone. Oh, that should have been QJ all day there. That's unfortunate. Whatever. I screwed that up. I just screwed this whole draft up. Wide receiver 2 with Justin Herbert and Mike McDaniel's system. Yeah, screwed that up all day. There goes QJ. Ronnie's remarkable team. Let's see what Rob's up to. Let's see what Rob's rowdy team is up to. Bill Crossy, Khalil Shakir, Jordan Addison, Wandale. That's a good bench. Rob put together a squad here. Lamar Jackson, Amarian Hampton, Javonte Williams, Rashee Rice, Michael. He put together a squad. He put on an absolute clinic. He really did. You can't say enough about what Rob's done here. I think we're good on the RBs. I think we could go with another receiver. I don't like anything on the board, so we're just going to go with good old Malik Willis, secure. And I'm high on Malik Willis, man. I am high on him. I think he has rushing upside. He ran for 100 yards in back-to-back games. In 2 games he played last season. He had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. So I think despite the lack of talent on this Dolphins offense, I think he can carve out a real role because of his rushing upside and be a fantasy starter. I also do think Kyler Murray is going to be awesome, but I just like having both of them on my team. I don't know why. That's just been a way I've been attacking the board. And yeah, I'll cut it now, and then we'll come back to when the draft is completely finished. I have 3 more bench spots to fill. It'll probably be, I don't know who it'll be, but we'll get there and I'll tell you. All right, fellas, here we go. Here's our squad. Achane, McBride, Wilson. This duo right here is just going to be 50 points a week. The tight end positional value is nasty. I like our floor with Scadaboo as the RB2, the upside with Henderson as maybe RB2 or flex. We need one of the rookie receivers to break out, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of them do. And then I love the depth at the RB position with Dobbins and Rodriguez. The QB position could blow up in our face. Kyler Murray, Malik Willis, not ideal, but that's kind of a strategy I've been employing all offseason. Ryan Flanoy, Jalen Naylor, Fernando Mendoza, wide receiver 1. Why not? Ryan Flanoy has been turning heads it is turning head season, and Ryan Flanoy has been doing that at Cowboys training camp. So I think this is a decent squad. I much rather prefer picking from the 112, 111 for some reason. It's just a lot of my guys weren't there in this mock draft. Like Michael Wilson way earlier than I thought he would. He would have likely been there instead of Jordan Tyson. So I feel way safer with him than Jordan Tyson, quite frankly. But either way, I think this squad is nasty. I think we're going to be fine. I think we have a lot of depth at running back. We have a lot of depth at wide receiver. The quarterback position concerns me, but again, when you take Trey McBride that early, you're going to be a little bit you're going to be a little bit thin somewhere, and it just happened to be quarterback, which I'm fine with because 2 of these guys have really high upside. So we'll take that all day. That's a mock draft from the 110. Subscribe for more.